Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The Game joined WWE in 1995 after a short stint at WCW and has been with the company ever since. Since joining Vince McMahon's company, the 14-time world champion has made many friends, including Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. Meanwhile, he has also made some enemies. The King of Kings has had real-life heat with a few superstars throughout his WWE career. His relationship with some of these stars remains sour today. Nonetheless, he has become friends with some of his former enemies in the past few years. Here are 5 WWE superstars who had real-life heat with Triple H. Like Triple A, Chris Jericho competed in WCW before joining WWE in 1999. However, the Game and the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll disliked each other. During his appearance on Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions earlier this year, Jericho disclosed how his relationship with Triple H was during his early days in Vince McMahon's company. Despite having a troubled relationship for years, the two later became friends. In an interview with Rich Eisen show, Jericho revealed that he and Triple H now wonder why they did not like each other in the past. Jericho left WWE in 2018 following his participation in the 50-man Royal Rumble match at the Greatest Royal Rumble event. In early 2019, he joined All Elite Wrestling. The 51-year-old is currently active in Tony Khan's company. Triple H and The Rock have had one of the most historic rivalries in WWE history in the late 1990s and early 2000s. The two legends also had a troubled relationship in real life several years ago. On his Confessions with the Hitman podcast, Bret Hart claimed that Triple H and Shawn Michaels bullied The Rock in the early 1990s. Despite this, the Game and the Great One's relationship has improved in the past few years. Today, it seems like their real-life heat is behind them. A few years ago, the WWE EVP spoke to Facebook Live in India about his current relationship with The Rock. The Rock left WWE in 2004 to pursue an acting career in Hollywood. He's now one of the highest-paid actors in the world. Nevertheless, the 49-year-old has made several sporadic appearances in WWE over the past decade and a half. The Brahma Bull last competed in WWE at WrestleMania 32 when he defeated Eric Rowan in 6 seconds. Like The Rock, WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart had real-life heat with Triple H in the early 1990s. On his Confessions with the Hitman podcast, the former claimed that Triple H and Shawn Michaels wanted him out of WWE. The Hitman has taken several shots at the King of Kings in the past few years. Earlier this year, Hart stated that he always thought that Triple H was an overrated wrestler. The Hall of Famer also claimed that the WWE Universe remembers Triple H only because his father-in-law is Vince McMahon. Bret Hart made up with Vince McMahon after years of animosity following the Montreal Screwjob incident. Nonetheless, his relationship with Triple H does not seem to have improved much in the past few years. In an interview with Arda Okal a few years ago, Hart disclosed he and Triple H do not speak and only greet each other formally when they meet. Triple H and CM Punk shared the WWE ring several times between 2006 and 2012. They even teamed up a few times, including once against The Miz and R-Truth at Vengeance in 2011. Nevertheless, the two had real-life heat backstage. In an interview with the Art of Wrestling podcast in 2014, Punk opened up about his relationship with Triple H during his WWE run. The Best in the World left WWE in 2014 after participating in the Royal Rumble match. At the time, WWE was planning a match between Punk and Triple H at WrestleMania. However, the company had to cancel the plan after Punk left. Last April, Triple H revealed that he had spoken with the former WWE champion nearly a year and a half earlier. Nonetheless, he stated that WWE would not start negotiating with Punk unless he showed interest in returning. Meanwhile, the straight-edge superstar recently disclosed that he rejected an offer from WWE earlier this year. Last August, Punk returned to wrestling after nearly 7 years of retirement. The 43-year-old joined AEW. He recently teamed up with Sting and Darby Allin to defeat FTR and MJF on AEW Dynamite Holiday Bash. Seth Rollins worked for several years alongside Triple H as part of the Authority in WWE. The two also engaged in a heated feud in 2017. It ended with Rollins defeating the Game at WrestleMania 33. Nonetheless, earlier in Rollins' WWE career, he had real-life heat with the Cerebral Assassin. In his book, MOX, Rollins' former Shield teammate disclosed that several people backstage believed the architect needed to improve his attitude during his early days in Vince McMahon's company. Earlier this year, Rollins revealed more details about his backstage issues during that time. He stated that Triple H told him he doesn't see anything special in him. Rollins also disclosed that Triple H threatened to fire him if he didn't work on his attitude. Since then, the former Universal Champion's relationship with the Game seems to have improved a lot. In 2017, the WWE EVP dubbed the 35-year-old the future of WWE. The Visionary is currently active on Raw. He recently teamed up with Kevin Owens to face Bobby Lashley and Big E. Nevertheless, they lost the bout. Triple H, known as the Game and the Cerebral Assassin, is one of the most influential figures in professional wrestling. With a career spanning decades, he has transitioned from being a top WWE superstar to a high-ranking executive, shaping the future of the industry. However, his ascent to power hasn't been without controversy. Throughout his career, Triple H has had real-life heat with various WWE superstars, whether due to backstage politics, professional rivalries, or personal differences. Here are 5 WWE superstars who had genuine issues with Triple H. CM Punk's strained relationship with WWE and its management is well documented, and much of his frustration was directed at Triple H. Punk, known for his outspoken nature, felt that WWE never truly backed him as the face of the company despite his immense popularity. The tension between Punk and Triple H dates back to the early 2010s when Punk was at the peak of his career. One of the major issues came after Punk's infamous pipe bomb promo in 2011, where he called out WWE's management, including Triple H. Punk believed that the company, particularly Triple H and Vince McMahon, still saw him as a secondary player, compared to names like John Cena and Randy Orton. The rivalry culminated in an on-screen feud at Night of Champions 2011, where Triple H defeated Punk in a match that many fans and insiders felt Punk should have won to solidify his main event status. Punk later revealed in interviews that he found Triple H's approach to be condescending and felt that the Game was holding him back rather than elevating him. In 2014, Punk walked out on WWE after Royal Rumble, citing creative frustration and health concerns. His departure and subsequent podcast interviews showcased his disdain for WWE's management, with Triple H being a major target of his criticisms. Booker T is a legendary figure in professional wrestling, but his feud with Triple H in 2003 left a sour taste in the mouths of many fans. Leading up to WrestleMania XIX, Booker T was positioned as a strong challenger for Triple H's World Heavyweight Championship. The storyline, however, was highly controversial due to racially charged undertones. Triple H, as the heel champion, delivered promos that many considered distasteful, implying that people like Booker T were not meant to be champions. Given Booker T's inspiring journey from a troubled past to a world champion in WCW, fans were eager to see him get his moment at WrestleMania. However, at the event, Triple H retained the title in a dominant fashion, pinning Booker T clean after a pedigree that took an unusually long time to cover. Many felt that this decision diminished Booker T's credibility and sent the wrong message. Booker T himself later expressed disappointment in how the storyline played out, though he maintained a professional relationship with Triple H afterward. Scott Steiner is known for his brash personality and unfiltered opinions, and his brief WWE run in 2002 to 2003 was marred by his issues with Triple H. When Steiner returned to WWE after a successful WCW run, he was immediately thrust into a high-profile feud with Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. Despite being a powerhouse with a larger-than-life persona, Steiner's matches with Triple H at Royal Rumble 2003 and No Way Out 2003 were underwhelming. The matches were heavily criticized for their slow pacing and lack of chemistry, with many believing that Triple H did not put in the effort to make Steiner look strong. Following this feud, Steiner was relegated to the mid-card and soon faded from WWE's main event scene. In later interviews, Steiner made it clear that he disliked Triple H and often took jabs at him, criticizing his influence over WWE's creative decisions and his real-life marriage to Stephanie McMahon. While Chris Jericho and Triple H have worked together many times and even had classic matches, their relationship hasn't always been smooth. In the early 2000s, when Jericho was rising as a main event star, he reportedly had backstage heat with Triple H. Jericho has hinted in interviews that Triple H wasn't always supportive of him and that he had to fight hard for his spot. One of the most notable instances was WrestleMania X8, where Jericho defended the undisputed championship against Triple H. Despite being the champion, Jericho was booked as a secondary player in the storyline, with the focus being more on Triple H's drama with Stephanie McMahon rather than the championship itself. Over the years, Jericho and Triple H's relationship improved, but there was undeniable tension in the past, especially when it came to creative control and positioning within WWE. Bret Hart is one of the most respected wrestlers of all time, but he has never been shy about sharing his thoughts on Triple H. In various interviews, Hart has criticized Triple H's in-ring abilities, famously stating that he doesn't think Triple H is a great wrestler, but rather someone who played politics well to maintain his position. Hart was also critical of how Triple H and Shawn Michaels handled the infamous Montreal Screwjob in 1997, believing that both played a role in deceiving him. While his main issue was with Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels, he has often spoken negatively about Triple H's influence on WWE. Despite these criticisms, Hart and Triple H have maintained a civil relationship in recent years, but it's clear that Hart has never been fully convinced of Triple H's legacy as a top-tier performer. Triple H's journey in WWE has been filled with both admiration and controversy. While he is celebrated for his contributions to the industry, his backstage influence and political maneuvering have led to real-life heat with several superstars. Whether due to creative control, personal differences, or career trajectories, these 5 wrestlers all had their issues with the game. However, professional wrestling is a business where tensions run high, and as time has shown, most grudges eventually fade away in favor of mutual respect and the love of the industry.